Good morning and welcome to day one of cycling from near Bath to near Dundee. Got to get the alliteration in somehow. Today I'm cycling from my home near Bath to my grandparents' home in between Stoke and Derby. About 200 kilometres, which is a very, very long way. But I've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. It's 7:30 and I've just gone past Malmesbury. I think I've done about 30 kilometres. So we're doing well. Anyway, after the intro, I'll hand you back to Arthur yesterday to give you a bit more context. Enjoy. It's the evening before I head off, and I'm currently on the test loop I did before cycling to Italy, actually. I got back from Italy on Saturday, visiting my grandparents again, and I spent the day preparing the bike, and then on Sunday, I did a mini test ride for the modifications. Today, I've been sorting all my things out, getting them packed into bags and everything. And this is my final loaded test ride before I set off tomorrow. Now, I said I would explain a bit about why I'm doing this ride. Now, it would have been 2 years ago now, I cycled to Italy, and I really enjoyed it. And I wanted to do something similar this year, but because of coming back from Argentina, etc., and so not having sort of enough time here and there, and wanting to prepare for my final year a bit, I decided that I would do a slightly shorter trip. And I asked Tim, one of the special members of the Cottage Gang, whether he would be happy to welcome me for a couple of nights at an end of a little bikepacking trip, which is what I'm doing. So I'm cycling from my home near Bath to Tim's home near Dundee, just south of Dundee in Scotland. It's about 720 kilometres, and I'm planning on doing it in about 4 days. Now, as Arthur from tomorrow morning just said, the first day is cycling from my home to my grandparents' home, my English grandparents' home, in between Stoke and Derby. So I'll hand you back over to him for what is hopefully going to be a lovely 4 days with nice weather, good views, and just a nice bit of cycling. Just spotted a massive wall of hay bales, but sadly they're over a big hedge now. I've just ticked over a third of the way through. I'm yet to have a proper break, but I'm feeling pretty good actually. So, oh, here it is. Hopefully you can see that. Kind of crazy. It's enormous, but I'm feeling good actually, and my plan is to try and get to Winchcombe before having a proper break, probably half an hour, 40 minutes. Bit of lunch, although it is only 9:30, and I'll probably be in Winchcombe in the next 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But you know, lunch doesn't really exist when you're bikepacking. I thought I'd chat a bit about why I'm trying to do this in 4 days, and the reason is my grandparents are quite ideally placed to have a break after 1 day, and then the distance isn't really far enough after that to warrant taking 4 days. So that's why I'm kind of doing it in quite a small amount of time. Now, comparatively speaking to my ride to Italy, which did take 2 weeks, admittedly, this ride, every single day is longer than the longest day, probably on the way to Italy. So today's about 205 kilometres. Tomorrow will be between 180 and 200. And then after that, we're around 170 each day, probably. That's sort of what I've got planned out. It depends where I stay. So in that case, I guess the last 2 days would be shorter than the longest day to go to Italy. But not by much. So I think this might be a bit more of a physical challenge for me, just because I'll be doing so much riding in such a short space of time. But obviously I'm only going for 4 days. So, you know, day one is going well. Let's put it that way. I don't want to speak too soon, but fingers crossed it stays like this. I'll catch up with you later. I've got myself into a bit of a pickle here. Got to get around this. And I just noticed, I mean, it's not an official track, but there is a track there that I could have gone down. The joys of anti-cycling. I mean, it's technically a cycle path, but it is very anti-cycling infrastructure, this. Oh well, I've started now. I've dedicated to it. Let's go. Look what my alleged road cycling route has got me coming down. Just came along there and through that. Now I've got to go along here. I did not sign up for nettle stings. Oh well. We're nearly out of the city bit, so hopefully things get better from here. It's been a while since I last updated you. I'm now comfortably over 3/4 of the way through. I believe I've just made my way out of Birmingham. Didn't update you for a while because I was just cycling through city streets. Not the most pleasant, but you know, it does actually change things up a bit. Keeps you focused, which is nice. Had some lunch and now I am on my way. I've got about 45 kilometers to go. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule actually. I've been doing really well today. Anyway, what's happened since I last updated you? I was stung by a wasp in the crook of my hip. I think I was cycling along, it flew there because I'm pedaling, got squashed a few times. Decided, do you know what, I'm going to sting this thing squashing me. Fair enough really, but I seem to be all right. Anything else? Oh, I mean, you'll have seen the footage. I got a bit angry at some cycle paths, but this is immediately after that, and actually it's quite lovely, so I can't complain. Yeah, day is nice. I'm feeling good, my bum doesn't hurt. So, I mean, again, touch wood, that was me touching wood. It stays like this. So, I will catch up with you in a bit as I get closer to my grandparents. See you later. Hello, I've got about 2 kilometers to go on the last bit of cycle path to avoid the dual carriageway. I'll be honest, the last little bit has been quite challenging. A couple of hills, and my knees feel like they might be about to go boom, but I've got some anti-explosion balm or rub to put on them when I get there. Overall, it's been a good day. I've really enjoyed it. It's been nice and chill, and I'm looking forward to a shower and some food. So probably do one more catch up before I go to bed. Woo! And then yeah, ready for tomorrow. Fingers crossed I get some good rest and can recover properly, ready for another big one. So in the end I made it to my grandparents an hour earlier than expected, which is fantastic. I've been able to really properly rest. I've washed my kit and I'm feeling pretty good about tomorrow. I should be able to sleep easily 8 hours and yeah, I'm really happy with how the day went and I am looking forward to tomorrow. So that's the end of this week's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, comment if you have any questions and subscribe because you've got days 2, 3 and 4 coming up. Stay tuned.